Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode about the movies with William Fletcher. As per usual, I am your host, William Fletcher, and this week I am joined, as per usual, by Mr. Harry Jobson.
All of the lights. Bam, ba, 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 bam, bam, ba, 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 ba. This is me warming
Okay.
up as Mr. Substitute, Mr. Fill-in, Mr. just fucking willing and ready to go.
Might have blown out the audio that you just fucking just yell.
Yeah. These headphones are noise cancelling, so like my voice is like, and I've got a naturally booming voice, so.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this week we are going to be looking at Tron and Tron Legacy, because there's a new Tron film called Tron Ares.
Tron Ares.
Yeah, let me look up how it's
Yeah.
pronounced, because I don't actually, because I feel pronunciation English. It says
Meo Noche.
Ares. It says
Ares.
Ares. Okay.
Every
Yeah,
time
Tron.
I hear
Yeah.
anyone, look up pronunciation, I just think of that clip. You know that clip where it's like, he sounds like he's going to say mayonnaise, and then he says it, and it's like, mayonnaise noche. And I'm like, I love that clip. But yeah, Tron Ares.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, to talk about, Tron. I mean, yeah, I had never seen the Tron films before this. I was aware of them. But I had never seen them, so I watched them both yesterday for the purposes of this. And I think what I sort of found with these films, both these films, is they're not really plot driven or plot heavy. They're more just an excuse for cool visuals and great music.
Yeah, no, I also noticed that. There is kind of a plot, but it's like it's ambiguous as hell. It's weirdly corporate. Like the plot is like the winner gets to be a CEO. It's like that's not really cool. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
and it's sort of it's interesting, and I think it's sort of because I was aware of Tron. I've been aware of Tron for years. I knew nothing about the plots of these movies. Like, I didn't know what these films were about, other than that, like, Daft Punk did the music for them. Like, for the first one, anyway. Did they do the music for the first one, or?
No, they did it for Legacy, right? They didn't.
I know they
don't
did
know
it
if
for
they were.
Legacy, yeah.
First one was in '82.
Who did the music? Yeah.
Like Jeff
It says
Bridges
Wendy
is in
Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Wendy Carlos did the music. She did. Well, I mean, most famously, she did the scores for Clockwork Orange and The Shining.
Yeah.
So they had Daft Punk for Tron Legacy, and they've got 9 Inch Nails for Ares. Very solid selection of musicians, I'd say. I think. I mean, I like some of what Daft Punk do, and 9 Inch Nails. People like 9 Inch Nails, like. I think people say, "Oh, I'm not." Yeah. There's not really much plot to these films, and like these aren't films you're gonna be watching because of the plot. Like, these are just films that these are for the vibes. That's what these films are. They are for the vibes. That's why you're gonna watch these films.
And we'll start with the original Tron, 1982. Just like I've done better green screen with like, and I understand technology.
God, yeah.
I understand technology back then. So in 1982, computers weren't even hardly playing Pong. But what I'm saying, but we also have films like that look a whole lot better, and for the same time period, considering that this film was produced by Walt Disney as well, is interesting.
Yeah, I that's one of the first things I noticed is watching this on like Disney Plus. I was like, man, the visuals, they don't look great. Like, look, for the time, I'm sure they were, and I can understand they were revolutionary and what for the time, but they do not hold up. They do not look good today, and that's not really. They've aged, and that's not really on the film's fault. Like, but then again, there are films from earlier. Like, if you watch the original Star Wars trilogy, those effects those effects have not aged in like 50 years nearly. Like, they still look great. Like the original Star Wars trilogy, they all look great. 2001: A Space Odyssey still looks great. Like, even though I'm not like a big fan of that film, visually it is an incredible film from like that level. Like, the space stuff is great. It looks fantastic. This just looks so much more dated, and I don't really know why that is, honestly. I really think, like, that's the first thing that struck me when I was watching it, was like, this is not a very, like, these effects just don't look that great now, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird, because there's other films from sort of this, like a couple years later, in terms of like a big visual film, is like Ghostbusters. And I think Ghostbusters still looks pretty good from the visuals, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men and Slimer and everything, and like when they're shooting, capturing the ghost, like that still all looks very good. But there is just something about Tron, and I don't know if it's because Tron is so heavily that, like, there's a lot more of that in Tron than there is in other. I don't know. It just looks a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It just looks a bit dated. It looks. It does look very dated, and it's sort of just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks so green screen. Like, it looks so bad. Like, in a way that in the special effects of, like, say, the programs being absorbed, and we'll get into sort of what that means. But the costumes, why weren't the costumes are like CG, and but the programs are black and white, but they're not black and white.
Even the costumes are dated as well. And again, compare it to other sci-fi films of the time, like a lot of the costumes in Star Wars still look great. Like, they could be made nowadays and would still look as good. But there is just something about it's just something about this film. It's just dated, and it's not that it makes it hard to watch.
It's noticeable. Like, I feel like I should be high when I'm watching it. I will let you, like.
I can imagine this is the kind of film that people get, because also there's no plot, so you don't need to focus on that.
Film. This is a stoner movie.
I can imagine you take certain things and you can just sit back and just be fucking overloaded, like people do that with Yellow Submarine and shit. They just take drugs.
Yeah, you could drop acid and watch Tron for sure. And
exactly. I think, and you'd probably like it even more because it's just fucking all these crazy, like, bright colors.
I do also want to mention, like, the bikes, specifically the Line Rider bikes, is so bad. Like, and I understand the computing power, but, like, again, look at Star Wars. Star Wars is such a great example. Like, and to this whole film kind of looks like that Simpsons episode.
Oh, the one where Homer goes into, like, the 3D, where he becomes, like, 3D.
3D. Yeah, with, like, CG. It's, like, weird, bad CG, but the bikes are so not real. The bikes I could make in, like, Tinkercad, like, free web 3D modeling thing. And I understand, this is 40-odd years ago. This is, 43 years ago this film came out. And it doesn't... I don't know.
I don't want to say it's bad, because I don't think it's bad. It's just very archaic and dated.
No, but the bikes genuinely are, like, a hard thing for me to get around. But I also, in a weird way, as weird as it looks, it is so much part of its charm as well. Like, you watch it and you're like, it kind of looks awful, but, like, I don't know, it kind of adds to it in just a little bit. Because I've been pretty negative about the way it looks. I will give that, with all its negativities, it has such a charm to that. It does look like a video game, to be fair. It does look like an arcade game. And I'm talking more about the specific, model of the cars and the gameplay and the grid and everything. The characters, Yeah. That's noticeably bad. But and I really think that they could have done. I honestly do think that there was an industry standard that they could have at least gotten to when it come to the sort of special effects surrounding the humans.
I think that I mean, to talk about sort of I mean, I just want to say, I think this is the youngest I've ever seen Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
And it
right.
doesn't feel right. Like, I always
it's
think of
uncanny
him as like a 50, 60-year-old. I don't think of him as like a however old he was. It was
It's like seeing
1949.
It's like seeing a young Michael Caine.
So he was
Who's
only
like weird.
35, is that? No. 33 maybe at the time. Yeah, he looks weird, doesn't he? It's like there's just certain actors where it's like you don't look right when you're this age. Like I just always assumed this is how you like. There's certain actors where it's like, oh, I just imagine Judi Dench and Maggie Smith. They always looked 60 plus, and that like they them being like young just doesn't look right because it's like they've looked the same for the last like 40 years or something. I mean, we're not really going to be talking about character and acting performances in this because. Again, this is a film more for the ideas and for the visuals and for the score, really. I mean, it's I think this is the kind of film that definitely, if you grew up watching it, you'd probably think it's really great. I think this is that kind of movie. There's sort of films from sort of, and I think this is true of like every generation or so. There's just like a few films that like you see when you're a child, when you're growing up, that you think that you love when you're an adult, even if it's like not actually that great. Like, which sounds a bit rude, but I think it's true of everyone. Like, I think there's films that everybody sees at like a certain age, and you do like it even if it's not great, and even if it is a bit shit.
There are some films, especially. I'm one to love an awful film, or love a film that people go, that's not very good, and to me, it's one of the greatest pieces of cinema. Specifically, Monsters vs. Aliens. I recently watched a video about it's like an hour of someone just critiquing that film, and that hurt me like really bad because that movie is so good. And for the people that don't like it, go fuck yourself. But Tron. So, to give like a bit of an overview, and I understand that it's not great. Pretty much the whole concept of the movie, if there is that there is a big CEO that has been stealing this really great programmer's work based on this video game. So he tries to hack into the system. He then gets sucked into this game, the system called the Grid, which is also like filled with humanoid programs. So programs are represented as humans in the body of the programmer or the user, and they all believe that they have a programmer. Otherwise, what's their purpose? This is weird, like AI kind of vibes. There is a big master control program, which is like the big bad, which is like a security measure. Tron, which was designed, is a program that was designed as a security measure, and the film's named after is kind of like the key to defeating the master control program. And general sci-fi antics ensue. They have to play these games in order to survive. Specifically, the game, was it Line Riders? Something called Line Rider, which is what you know about the motorcycles, and you've got to cut each other off. For however kind of garbage this movie is, as much as it looks great and sounds great. Oh, it doesn't look great. As much as it kind of got weird, freaky visuals and sounds great, it spawned possibly one of the greatest GTA 5 online game modes I've ever played in my life, which was the Tron game mode. That Line Rider game is iconic. It is so fun, and it is genuinely one of the best games, like concepts of all time. So I will give Tron that. It gave us Line Rider, which, if you don't know, you should, is pretty much just, a user gets a different color bike. that bike produces a line which extends for a certain period of time before eventually it starts to fade. And the idea is to cut the other person off. You cut them off, you kill them. The first film, weird, kind of freaky plot line. By the way, the Master Control Program looks like the fucking villain from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. You know, the big, the big face dude. He kind of looks like that. He looks like a big Dorito. It's really, but he's a big crystal. It's a really weird, again, I'm not a fan of psychedelics. I wouldn't do them. But if you were in the psychedelics and watched this movie,
I mean, yeah, there's really not much plot to talk about because the film really is it's more just an excuse to get some interesting set pieces in there, which I can respect to a degree, but there also needs to be some semblance of a plot and some semblance of a story for me to be
yes.
It's just very it's this is it's not, I don't think this is a bad film. It's just sort of it's not something that I'm gonna be oh man, I need to show this to other people, or oh man, I can't wait to watch that again. You know what I mean? It's just sort of it's fine for what it is, but it is archaic and it has dated and it's aged a bit. But it's not. I don't. Maybe I do give it a couple points for that because I mean, as we were just saying earlier, there are films made from earlier and even around the same time period where the effects haven't really dated and look basically as good as I'm sure they would have looked when they first came out. Whereas Tron,
and this isn't a developing studio either, and it might be inappropriate, but I give Disney a lot of less leeway than I do with other, film companies, to be honest. I think Disney holds themselves to a standard. This should be better. For what it is. Again, but there is a bit of a charm to the way that it kind of looks so awful.
There's a charm in it being shit.
Exactly.
I don't think it's the kind of thing where it is noticeable, but it's also it doesn't it's not the kind of mistake or thing that bothers me that much. There are films where I'll watch and they'll have bad cinematography or whatever and or bad visual effects, and it will be disappointing and upsetting. But this is just kind of it's just kind of funny and charming. But I mean, I give the film a 6 out of 10 just because I didn't have a real issue with it. It just sort of, I didn't really get much from watching it either.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I was just it was a movie. It's an hour and a half. It's not overly long. It's not overtly short.
I will say that it is a brisk 90-minute film, which more films should be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, we've preached that on 200 odd episodes at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do think that it does sort of, it has a lot of potential. The original film does show a lot of potential for sequels to build sort of a world around, although I do think the grid is developed quite poorly in the first film. It is a really tight conflict for considering how much the second film tries to expand. The first film is it's kept really tight. It's kept within a core couple characters, and they do explore a little bit, but it's majoritively the programmer Kevin, Tron, Ram, Yori. It's tight cast, and it all wraps up sort of at the end. He becomes the CEO of the company, and it's kept quite tight. And then Tron Legacy, which is a good 30 years after this film, is what we're getting into. And this one it's definitely there's a lot of time jumping. A lot.
Yeah, there's also a lot of CGI'd Jeff Bridges, which doesn't look very good now.
Yeah, because this was sort of the first films to sort of like make them look young and old and stuff, right? Like, and we've got that one with what is that? That one with Will Smith where it's
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man. Yeah, that one is like a. I think I've spoken about it before.
They also did. I'm trying to think. What was the other one? That was like they did X-Men Origins Wolverine, and as like a CGI'd Patrick Stewart in that. It's and look, some de-aging looks very good nowadays. Like you look at Captain Marvel, you look at Terminator Dark Fate, like the de-aging is remarkably good in those films. It just doesn't really they hadn't figured out how to do it yet in 2010, so it just looks a bit uncanny like honestly, it looks like the Polar Express, like when fucking Robert Zemeckis was making like those CGI like Polar Express and that kind of thing. It looks very, very weird.
Fitting for the Tron franchise, right? Like if Ares looks good, then it's just going to ruin it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Daft Punk, I do want to kind of speak about mostly here. One of the best modern motion picture soundtracks I've heard. I love Daft Punk, and to sort of lean directly into that like EDM, that trance, and that Daft Punk sound, and to have it go, okay, you guys are going to produce the entire soundtrack for this film.
Yeah,
it works really well, and it's a shame that it's wasted, but it's really good.
Yeah, the thing with it is, I'll say I really do like the music in this film. I think there's some really nice music. I haven't listened to the Nine Inch Nails stuff for the next film for Tron Ares, but I can believe it's probably good because they make good music. But I do really like the music in this film. Yeah, I think it's really nice music.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so unique in a way, and I think it works so well. Like the fact that this is the best part of the film, to be honest, because I don't really hate Tron Legacy. I do think that it's okay. It's an okay film. I find that the time skipping, and they do try to build a story out of this one, which just is so weird considering how tight the first one was. The soul, like, he misses his father, boom, 20 years on, and then boom, 20 more years on, and they give us sort of teasing with the bikes, and the bikes look a lot better, and the line rider, the whole idea, like the biggest sort of thing that was taken from the Tron films was that game concept. But and you get a bit of fan service that way. Similar poster with the disc into the sky, getting out of the program. But the story that they try to build out of this is one too much for what the first one had set up. When you're doing a sequel, and this is a study in like how not to do a sequel. When you're doing a sequel, it needs to naturally and organically progress from the first film. So a really great example of a great sequel is Shrek 2. And I know that this is weird bringing this up, but it's considered one of the best sequels. Or Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, is you take core concepts from the first film, you build upon them without sort of getting a bit too big for your britches. You make sure to give your protagonist core conflict, or like an internal conflict that's different from the first film, so it's not the same thing going on. You introduce a few new characters, maybe a new environment, but you keep it kind of tight within the main sort of sphere of, okay, we're going to center this around like the characters the first one was. That's how you build a good sequel. It's good world building, but it's character building as well. This one doesn't really do much. It kind of like tries to crazy expand the world way too quickly and doesn't really focus on the characters at all, and just makes us like it's like a new generation of Tron. And I get that considering it's 30 years on. It's really hard to do a sequel 30 years on. I don't know if I've seen a really good one. I think the recent Happy Gilmore was a real, and we'll talk about that in the review of the year. I think that was a really good sequel, legacy sequel. I think I'm struggling to sort of think of great legacy sequels that are built upon, especially after that long, because it's a really hard thing to do. But yeah, it's just a bit messy. I don't know how you saw it.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, legacy sequels are a very tricky thing to get right. I mean, you're a big fan of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick is a great example. I was drawing a bit of a blank. In my head, all I could think of was Dumb and Dumber 2, which is not a great legacy sequel.
No,
but it's fine. It's fine. There's some funny bits in it, but
yeah. I mean, Creed is a legacy sequel.
Yeah, but in that example where we were still connected to the core, like Creed is a great example of a legacy sequel because it is not trying to be Rocky. It's different, but it keeps the values of what Rocky was in a sense. It's about sort of like it's about what Rocky's about, and we get those characters again, but it's not too big for itself, if that makes sense. It's still grounded. I just think Legacy, and I know Tron 1 is weirdly grounded. The concept that, you get sucked into a video game and there's humanoid programs isn't grounded. But the story within it, story in quotation marks, is sort of, it's just sort of like team up against big bad, defeat big bad, win day. Whereas this one is like, my dad, what's going on with my dad? Who am I? Also, takes a while to get into it. It's like a 2-hour movie. Pacing's kind of bad. And then big bad, but kind of not big bad, but kind of big bad. But like what's going on with Ram, but also what's going on with this character. And it's just sort of confusing. And I think if you ever looked up Tron Legacy, there'd be a whole lot of explained videos. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Yeah, that's sort of talking on the narrative. The soundtrack, phenomenal. Visually, again, you said it quite well. It's just a bit uncanny. Yeah, I guess it's a sequel.
I think that I will say this. I think the effects in general look very good. Just not the de-aging. Like the de-aging looks very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the world of the grid looks great. I think costume design, I mean, a lot better than the first one. I think most of the special effects look really well. But the de-aging just adds to that uncanny. And there's also, we get the character of Quora, and it is such a, like, it's just such a, it's such a Cortana. What is the real world like? And it's a real trope in these sci-fi films. And it's become a real trope. And I just think it's a bit like lazy character writing, to be honest. But I think it works well. It's a lot of Jeff Bridges, to be honest. He plays like 4 characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jeff Bridges in this. And a lot of them, there's a lot of CGI Jeff Bridges, which doesn't, like, when he's got the beard and everything, he looks fine. Like, he looks normal. That's how he's supposed to look. When he's de-aged to look younger, it just doesn't look, they just don't look right.
I agree. Tron Legacy is a weird one. It is definitely a weird one. Daft Punk, again, though, so awesome. And, like, again, spawned one of the best game modes I've ever played in my entire life. So, not going to complain too much. I do enjoy it. But, yeah. Yeah, definitely a weird one for sure. Do you have any sort of thoughts on the general, like, world-building narrative film in general?
I think the film, I mean, I would say I don't think this is, like, that great. I think this is not as good as the first one. But I think the thing with it is it does enough to sort of expand upon it, because that's sort of what you want from like a sequel, is to expand upon, like what it does, some world building, and I think that's what you should do with sequel. Is you sort of, you keep a lot of the stuff from the first one, but you just sort of add to it and add more detail to it and make it more fleshed out. Like that's just basic writing, really. And I think what they do. I think because also of the advances of like filmmaking and technology, they can film the action sequences in a much better way and get far more like dynamic like camera shots and like the way they film fight scenes and everything. the bikes look good. Like you were saying with the first one, the bikes
right,
look
yeah.
shit. They actually look pretty good here, which is, good. I appreciate that the film, like, it doesn't just kind of do the same thing, it sort of adds to it, but there's also just a bunch of things that it's just like don't really matter. I mean, first of all, this is like 2 hours long. Like, this is like a half hour plus longer than the first film. And it's definitely boring. It's definitely not like that great. Um, it's too long for the amount of plot in this film. It doesn't justify being 2 hours. Like, it's not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, there's a 2 hour story in here. Like, this should have just been a nice 90-minute film like the first one. And this new one is also going to be like 2 hours long, and I'm just like, that's too long for a 2 hour. That's too long for a film.
Jared is the core, like the main celebrity cast, and like gonna be that guy, and it's Jared Leto. Like, it's gonna be Jared. Why?
Oh my god, Jared Leto is I mean, we'll talk about this like at the end, but like Jared Leto being the trailer for Tron Ares, like I was like, oh, this actually looks pretty decent, and then Jared Leto's face appears. I'm like, this film's gonna be shit now. This film's gonna be shit.
Tron Morbius edition. It's morbing time. It's Troning time. And the thing is, as well, and this is something that I understand, right, is not a big deal to a lot of people, and it's not really that big a deal to me. I love film posters. I love them.
Posters, yeah.
I love film posters. And this new one just doesn't follow the theme of the first two. Why? Why not?
It doesn't. I think the problem, honestly, I think nowadays film posters are kind of just shit now. Honestly, like,
just shit now. They are.
It's not. There's no one like pushing. Like, I've got in my room, as I think I've mentioned before, I've got the Back to the Future poster.
Which is iconic.
Iconic. It's a great poster. It gives you everything. Like, and in terms of other iconic film posters, you've got the fucking Jaws poster. Like, that is an iconic poster. You've got, I'm trying to think of like other iconic film posters. Star Wars. Yeah,
like with the lightsaber in the air. You've got Jaws. You have Alien. You have
Alien. That's a phenomenal poster. I'm just looking up a list of like iconic like posters.
Tron, honestly, Tron is an iconic like. At least Tron Legacy did it. Like, at least it did the same sort of thing.
Yeah, and it continues on with the theme of it stays in line with the first film. But, like, look at the Terminator, like the original Terminator poster, or even Terminator 2's poster. You look at like Pulp Fiction, Jurassic Park just being the logo.
Pulp Fiction is a great example. Like, it is genuinely great. I did think that the new Alien poster was great, to be honest. I thought that was a good example. I was disappointed with the Oppenheimer one, to be honest.
The Oppenheimer one, it's just it's very orange, and I don't like the look of it.
There's a lot going on.
It's just kind of a sea of orange. I think there is a great Oppenheimer poster where it's like an outline of Cillian Murphy, and he's walking through like a fireball. Like, I think that's a really great poster, but like sort of the main one, I don't really think that.
And before I get into it, there is one film poster, and I know we're sort of supposed to be talking about Tron, but Tron Ares is the first film in the series that doesn't follow that format. And I think that's for the worst. And this film poster like stays with me as like genuinely like scary poster is Zodiac. The Zodiac poster of
with the the
Golden Gate Bridge.
I think we've spoken about this. We've definitely talked about this.
Golden Gate Bridge, but it looks like eyes that are crying, like blood. That is that poster, like is so well done.
You don't mean the one with like the faces in it of like the main three. You just mean the one where it's just the Golden Gate Bridge.
No, the Golden Gate Bridge. But if you like squint your eyes, it kind of looks like there's. I know that's like a bit of a reach, but that's what I always sort of saw it as. It was like.
I mean, it's a beautifully like the best posters are just the ones that are beautifully simplistic, and there's not much going on. There's just sort of one main visual, and there's like other pieces there.
And Silence of the Lambs is a good one too, but
Silence of the Lambs again is very simple. Again, it's a very simple poster, but it's a very iconic poster. But I mean, we're supposed to be talking about Tron more than just posters. But I will say, I do think, they have good posters in these Tron films. I do think that I would have preferred if they did just keep the theme and have Tron Ares be like the same thing as the other two. It just would have worked. Like, it just needs to be. Look, if Tron Legacy, the poster for Tron Legacy was different, then I would be like, okay, this can be what it wants. But they've sort of established, like, this is how the posters for these Tron films are going to look. You need to...
A theme.
Yeah. So just, like, continue the theme. Because it's just, like... I think, it's very much...
Yeah. Was there like a direct to Disney Tron movie or something as well that, like...
That doesn't sound. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like something else that's related to Tron.
There was a short film that came out that I think was like a fan made short film.
Well, there's this thing here called Tron: The Next Day, which, from what I'm reading here, seems to be legit. Like it was distributed by Disney and everything. So that one sounds legit. Then there was a TV show.
TV show is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they did called Tron Uprising that ran from 2012 to 2013 that they cancelled. And then they had a couple TV shows they had an animated series planned in the mid 2000s, and they had another one planned for Disney Plus, but that project has apparently been shelved.
Yeah, I mean, there was a similar sci-fi film that came out in 1982. That is just like a lot better if you were to compare the two, and that's Blade Runner. And you want to talk about great sequels,
Blade Runner,
and great soundtracks. Blade Runner is one of the staple great sci-fi films ever, and Blade Runner 2049 is like so good as well.
Yeah, and they're doing a Blade Runner TV show, in fact.
Yep.
Blade Runner 2099, yeah.
So, and I did say earlier in the pre-show that in the green room. That that comparison is the antithesis of joy, but
Sharon, he's got the reverse Midas. I saw someone say he's got like the reverse Midas touch. It's like, yeah, he does. Have you ever seen a good Jared Leto performance? Because I don't think even in Fight Club, which is like one of my all-time favorite films.
He's interesting in Fight Club, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's not. I mean, the best scene in that, one of the best scenes in that movie is where he gets the shit kicked out of it. Like, he gets his face fucking punched in, and that's like one of the best scenes in that whole movie. It's like, yeah, that's what you fucking catch at, you fucking cult leader.
Psycho?
Yeah. American Psycho, yeah, he gets brutally murdered in Psycho.
He's really good when he gets killed.
Yeah, he gets...
He was in Lord of War?
Oh, is that the Nick Cage one?
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets his arm amputated in Requiem for a Dream, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to put a rating on Tron Legacy? If it's like we're talking about Tron Ares already, but do you want to really put a rating on? 4.5.
It's because it's just my issue is how messy it becomes, and some people may not agree, but I'm gonna give it a 5, but purely because of Daft Punk. Because I really don't think it's that bad. It's just a bit too long. It's kind of paced poorly. It's quite a bit messy. It's not a great sequel, but the soundtrack is just like it's one of my favorites. When you said like, do you want to do something on Tron? I'm like, at least I get to talk about Daft Punk.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, as I said before, the music in Tron Legacy is fucking great. It's like, it's just that kind of, it's just like, it just gets you, it just gets you hyped. I was like watching it, and there's like some scenes where I could hear the music, and it's just like the kind of like, foot tapping, like, sort of it gets going. And it's like it's really solid music. I like the music
stuff. What would your rating be then, William?
Honestly, watching it, I was kind of like, this isn't really that distinguishable from the first one, sorry. But it does have a terrible CGI Jeff Bridges, so I bumped it down to a 5. So we're in agreement, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, and sometimes we can be. I think typically we agree when we agree that it's something good, it's usually something great. But I feel like we agree if something's really great or really bad. But I feel like if something sort of can be hot or cold, I feel like that's where we tend to disagree more. There are definitely films that I know that I would probably rate a lot higher than you would, and then vice versa, specifically anything M. Night Shyamalan. And I don't want to get into it, but
yeah. I mean, to just as a potential tease for a future episode, I am not a fan of Dumb and Dumber, and I know you would put that in like your top 10 films like ever.
Good. So it's so good.
I know a lot of people who love it and have given me shit for thinking it's bad. Like,
no one. Yeah, I don't think that it's worth. To be honest,
no, it's not. And when I say giving me shit, it's like it's not in a mean spirited way. It's just in like a way that you talk to your friends and you give them shit for like it's like it's not like bullying.
That is a fucking awful take, and we will get into that We will get into it in another episode.
I mean, I've never seen the second one, so maybe.
Yeah, don't. No, it's fine. It's a fine movie. Oh, you got me all riled up now.
But yeah, we're tying this into Tron Ares, which I mean, we've already basically been talking about it. But like, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I was watching the trailer, I'm like, this actually looks pretty good. This will probably be a good film. And then Jared Leto turns up, and I was like, fuck this. Fuck it. I'm like, god damn it.
Right.
I was like, the first minute or so of the trailer, I was like, yeah. He shows up, and I'm like, okay, the film's bad now. And it's like, I think he's the worst actor, like, at his level. Like, I can't think of any actors who are, like, as famous as he is, who are as shit.
And is widely hated. You know, he is a bad Aaron Taylor Johnson, and he is an even worse Heath Ledger. Like, from what he...
Oh, like, his Joker
because those are two actors that I would say would have been at similar levels. And he's shitter than both, but consistently gets higher roles. Because, I don't know, 30 Seconds to Mars... What does he know about, like, Hollywood?
Yeah, why has he not been, like, kicked out and they've told him to fuck? Because people do not like Jared Leto. Like, that's the thing. I have never seen someone ever say, "Oh man, I can't wait to see that movie because Jared Leto is like people like he actively turns people away from movies. Like people feel actively don't like seeing him in films. So I just have to ask, why is he still being put in films when people don't like him? Because he's just shit. Like, he's just an awful actor. I've never seen him. Like, at best, he has been, like, in Fight Club, he basically gets away with it. But I think that's because Fight Club is just such a fucking good movie that even he can't ruin it. Like Fight Club's just that good that he doesn't ruin it. But, like, there are films that, like, are considerably worse than they would be otherwise if he wasn't in. But it's just this whole thing of, like, he's just shit. Like, I know he does music, like, he's a musician, right? Like, he does, like, I've never listened to any of his music, but he's got a bit of a fan. Yeah, 30 seconds. Yeah, have you listened to any of his music? Or, because I don't know if I have. Okay, because I feel like maybe that's gotten him a bit of publicity and people like him for that, but it's like, everyone knows he's, like, a fucking creep and has, like, a weird cult. Like, we know, like, it's not like it's like an open secret that he's a fucking creep and he, has a cold. But he still gets work, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't understand where. Like, I mean, he's won an Oscar for fuck. Like, he's literally won an Oscar. Like, he's an Oscar-winning actor, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, why is the industry so fucked? He's apparently in an upcoming Masters of the Universe film as well, which is just like, what in the oh my god, yeah. I mean, if he wasn't in it, I'd probably be far more interested in seeing it, because I would know for a fact he's not going to ruin it, but I would know I would be like, because he's in it, I know it's going to be bad now, because he's in it. Which is a shame, because the trailer made it look good, and I was like, yeah, I'll go see that. But because Jared Leto is in it, I'm like, I just don't. Yeah, him being in anything immediately killed any interest I have for seeing a film. Like, regardless of what the film is, him being in it is just like, well, fuck that. Don't really want to watch it now.
Like, and he's genuinely like a bit of a stamp of disapproval.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just that kind of thing that will turn a lot of people off. It's not just me, like, it's not like I just hate him for some reason, like, people don't like him. But I mean, we'll talk about it in the review of the year, provided I actually can be bothered to go see it in time for this, because someone should probably watch it for this. But yeah, yeah, I mean, do you have any real thoughts about Tron Ares? Like, are you gonna go see it? I mean, I know you said they're building like a cinema near you.
Yeah. It should be done by the end of the year. They said it should be done by the new Avatar film, but to be honest, they're revamping, like they're remodeling the old one that got flooded and destroyed. And watch, it's going to get flooded and destroyed as soon as it reopens. I guarantee you. That is literally how Lismore works. But my brother said he wanted to go see it, and I was like, "Have you seen Tron before?" And he was like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh." And then he's like, "Who's in it?" And I'm like, "Jared Leto." And he's like, "Who's Jared Leto?" And I'm like, "Morbius." And he's like, "Who's that?" Because he doesn't quite know. And I'm like, he's not. He kind of makes every film he's in suck, but it's fine. It's like any film where he's the lead man. It's like, oh damn, Jared Leto's in this. But yeah,
it's an action movie. It's yeah. Look, it like, I guarantee this would probably be like a solid movie, but Jared Leto will just ruin it because it's Jared Leto.
No, he will. He will. But yeah, anyway, that's Tron.
He will ruin it, yeah. That's Tron, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed listening. It's a bit of a shorter one, but after last week, episode 200, we need a bit of a breather, a bit of a break, and go for a bit of a shorter one this week. But yeah, I mean, 200 episodes plus now of the podcast. Thank you, Harry, for joining me for this week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for listening.
I don't have an outro song.
Yes, that's right. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.